The Sumerian story of creation of man revolves around two Sumerian gods, Enlil and Enki. Both were the sons of Anu, the supreme god of the Sumerians on earth. The story of creation of man goes that the Anunnaki, who were responsible to tend the fields of crops and of gold, minefield, for thousands of years, got tired and staged a revolt against their rulers, which forced Anu, the supreme god, to consider their demands. The solution agreed among the ruling gods was to create a new man who will replace the Anunnaki workers in the fields and mines. This was accomplished by Enki, who is believed to the geneticist god. The creation of man wasn't a one-time event. It has spanned over hundreds, if not thousands of years, considering that the Anunnaki ruled over Earth for more than 400,000 years. Over time, a debate over the fate of men broke out. Enlil's faction insisted to keep man as slaves, while the other faction, headed by Enki, want to free man from the bondage. While the debate rages on, Enki secretly carried out his plan without letting the other gods know, infusing free will and consciousness into man DNA. Enlil was enraged when he found out about it and decided to punish man. There is a Sumerian tablet that describes an event where man revolted against their masters. The result was an abomination, a massacre never heard of before. Interesting though, this never popped up in any subsequent literature, not even in the Bible. Who is Yahweh, Satan, and the snake in the Garden of Eden? The Anunnaki connection. Just like the word Adam, there have been countless attempts to find the origin of the word Satan. And just like the word Adam, all post-Sumerian languages were not able to offer a clue. It turned out that it came from the Sumerian word sartam, which means administrator. The ancient lexicons provide further proof of Satan's etymology. In the Sumerian text, Enlil is the great administrator of the Sumerian civilization on Earth. Not surprisingly, Enlil was also referred to as Yahweh, the supreme god and creator of man, after he overthrew what was believed to be his father. It should be noted that while Enki made man by modifying his DNA, it was Enlil's idea to replace the Anunnaki workers with a genetically modified man. It was also Enlil who commissioned the project. According to the Sumerian text, the god who ruled from heaven, the great Saturn, asked his half-brother Enki to negotiate with humans that were already existing on Earth. As a result, Enki became a friend of the humans. Enki had the appearance of a lizard, hence he was referred to as the Serpent in the Sumerian tablets. The Genesis story of creation of man. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die, for God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. And the eyes of them both were opened, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together, and made themselves aprons. And they heard the voice of the Lord God walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord God amongst the trees of the garden. And the Lord God called unto Adam, and said unto him, Where art thou? And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid, because I was naked, and I hid myself. And he said, Who told thee that thou wast naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I commanded thee that thou shouldest not eat? And the man said, The woman whom thou gavest to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat. And the Lord God said unto the woman, What is this that thou hast done? And the woman said, The serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. And the Lord God said unto the serpent, Because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. Therefore the Lord God sent him forth from the Garden of Eden, to till the ground from whence he was taken. So he drove out the man, and he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubims, and a flaming sword which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life. If you are familiar with the Christian Bible, it's clear that Yahweh is another name for God, and Satan is the anti-hero. You may be asking then, how in the world did we mix up Yahweh, Satan, and the serpent? Was it a deliberate act or the result of mistranslation? This lost in translation problem is widespread throughout human history. That's partly due to the limitations of passing a story by word of mouth or even written text in another language. If you don't believe it, they playing the game of meta relay with your friends. Enki, for example, is Prometheus in the Greek mythology. Enki did teach humans how to use tools and other technology of the gods, but there's no mention of giving fire, unlike in the Greek version. It is also worth noting that there is a very strong resemblance between the Greek mythology and the Sumerian text. Most Greek mythologies, if not all, are the exact copy of the Sumerian stories with little variations. It's not a far-fetched theorize that the Greeks may have heard of these stories by word of mouth. The gods of Athens, for example, has one-on-one equivalent in Sumerian. Even the story of Zeus overthrowing his father, the Titans, is a photocopy of the Sumerian story of Enlil usurping the throne of this father. Conclusion: the ancient Sumerian creation story offers a compelling alternative lens through which to view the familiar narratives of Genesis and other mythologies. Rather than portraying the divine as omniscient beings removed from human affairs, the Sumerian texts describe a more tangible, hierarchical pantheon, gods with motives, rivalries, and political agendas. Central to this is the dynamic between Enlil and Enki, one advocating control, the other liberation. Their conflict over humanity's fate echoes across cultures and scriptures, suggesting that what we now interpret as morality tales or religious allegory may have originated from older, more literal accounts of genetic engineering, rebellion, and divine intervention. The overlap between figures such as Enki and Prometheus, or Enlil and Yahweh, invites us to question the origins of the deities we've come to know. Was the serpent truly a deceiver, or a misunderstood bringer of knowledge? Was Yahweh the creator, or the enforcer? And is Satan not the embodiment of evil, but simply an administrator? With a role to play in a cosmic power struggle, when stories are passed down through the millennia across languages, empires, and religions, their meanings inevitably shift. Words are mistranslated, intentions misinterpreted, and characters transform. But if we trace these myths back to their earliest sources, like the cuneiform tablets of Sumer, we uncover a far more complex and human story about gods, knowledge, control, and freedom. It may not only reshape how we view the past, but how we understand ourselves in the grand mythos of human history. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Drop a comment below with your thoughts. I love hearing from you. Check out more videos on the screen, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.